admit you had no time and you did not have a date picked. So there's no reason you couldn't come to me and say, here's 2 dates that could work, and allowed me to do that. And by the way, I would still like for you guys to do that. Okay. And one more thing that I want to put out there, because your 24-hour demand is ridiculous. It's silly. Okay, let's strip it. Let's not pretend that there's some buzzard that got hit. We can still make this work, and I would like to make this work, and I would especially like to make this work if you are saying or implying that Erika Kirk is going to be there. Because the reality is that would be a game changer. I think that's a game changer. I think it would be very powerful to have her there, to represent the viewpoints in a way that they're maybe not being shared by Blake Neff, who is incredibly unlikable and speaks down to people. And I don't know why he does that. It's not coming across clearly from your spokesperson, Andrew Colvat, who seems to be on the road and isn't course correcting in the attitudes that are coming out, or at least telling people not to be like late night tweeting like Tyler Boyer. And yeah, it would be great if you are saying that on the 15th, Erika Kirk, as you are insinuating that she's going to be there, right? She's directing this thing. Are you implying here that she's going to actually be in the chair and she's willing to allow me to bring things and to go over timelines and stuff? Like, can you make that offer through the proper channels? Can you actually say that, since you now have more details about how it's going to work, and reopen that offer again? There is no way in hell that George can make the 15th work. I just said it. No, he shut it down immediately, and for a very valid reason. And it is not my inclination to go to Phoenix without having my team with me. And my husband is very much a part of my team. But I will say that I will raise it further with the Supreme Court of George Farber if you are insinuating, and actually if you can confirm that you are saying that you will allow me, as you said further in this, to bring whatever it is, because it would be more authentic if it was face-to-face. If you're saying that I don't have to deal with you and this is actually going to be very open and I can ask every question under the sun, I might beg, I might beg. So I would love to hear from Turning Point USA, and stop pretending 24 hours was some like demand that had to be met, because that's ridiculous. So ball very much back into your court. And like I said, I want to make this happen. I still think you guys can open it up for a live stream. Like you're doing that right now. That seems ridiculous as well. Let's make this work for the people. Anyways, you guys, diving back into our investigation. Okay, got something very interesting for you. Now, it is actually common sense that has been guiding this investigation the entire time, despite the federal insistence that we pretend we don't have any. And I think there's a compelling element that we should follow here. Wow, if we believe and know and have the intuition that this is a deep state assassination, I do. Okay, and we know that our deep state, the CIA, is involved in color revolutions all around the world. We should think about how they organize the revolutions, right? What does it actually entail? How does our military accomplish that? Through what means, okay? And I think it's obvious that they accomplish that through organized chaos. The chaos, as chaotic as the event may seem, has to actually be organized if this is military. It means that as a state, we fund and then we coordinate protests, and coordinating is the operative word. It has to look organic to the untrained eye. You have to actually make sure that people will believe when they read the New York Times, when they read AP News or Reuters, that all of this just happened. Like back in 2014, the Ukrainians were authentically and truly just done with their president, Yanukovych. And when John McCain went over there and led the protesters in the streets, he was really representing the voice of the people. It was not another United States military color revolution. By the way, if you have not seen that, this is what we do all around the world. You should just, I'm just going to play a little bit of this. John McCain addressing protesters in Ukraine before we overthrew their president. Take a listen.
People of Ukraine, this is your moment.
Народи українські, це ваш момент.
This is about you, no one else.
Це про вас.
This is about the future you want for your country. This is about the future you deserve.
Це про ваше майбутнє вашої країни. Це про майбутнє, на яке ви заслуговуєте.
A future in Europe.
Майбутнє Європи.
A future of peace and good
Майбутнє
relations
миру.
with all of your neighbors.
Майбутнє всіх ваших сусідів.
All right, that's enough. I don't know why we're like this. I really don't know why we're like this. Anyways, I believe in my heart and in my rational mind as well that Charlie Kirk's assassination was about as organic as John McCain, may he rest in peace, leading the people of Ukraine. And we got our color revolution, and we've been doing corrupt stuff in that region since. Now, I began scanning the people of the crowd obsessively. Obviously, you should see the folders on my desktop. And I'm referring, of course, now to UVU on September 10th. And there was something that I kept noticing. A weird amount of young men were alone at this event, and they were wearing maroon shirts. In fact, so many of these young men that I was coming across were wearing maroon that at first I legitimately assumed that it had to have been one of the UVU colors. I asked this question so innocently. I was like, to someone at UVU, I was like, oh, are your school colors maroon? And he comes back and he said, no, they're green and white. So my gut told me, okay, that's interesting, because maroon is not exactly a highly ranked color for men, okay? And it can't be that all of these men that are wearing maroon also happen to have attended this event alone. So I'm going to show you what I mean. And I'm going to go back to some of these people. This is by no means everyone. I'm just showing you a few times here. Here we go. We have this young man. This is after the shot. He's wearing maroon. Show you another person here sitting there under the tree after the shot, and he's wearing maroon. Show you another person here. We're going to come back to this person who is wearing maroon because his dad is going to say something publicly. 3 people, 1 shot, all of them alone wearing maroon. We're going to come back to the guy at the top there who has the hat, the darker hat on, who is wearing maroon, just like these like strapping young men all wearing maroon. We've got this guy in the bush wearing maroon. I could go on and on. This person of how many people were wearing maroon. I even have a video of someone holding a maroon shirt. Okay. So I mentioned that quite casually. And that thing happened where there was an overreaction for no reason online. So I knew that I was on the right track and I should probably keep going. And I said something, I think it was on X, or maybe it was on the show. And then we received hundreds of emails from people past and presently in the military around the world. And they said, yes, Candace, that is military. I am just going to quote a few emails here. One person wrote, quote, airborne forces wear maroon, not just in the UK, the USA, and France, as well as in dozens of other militaries. Another person said, quote, I instantly recalled that when police are in undercover units, the FBI, etc., and they are not in their uniforms, they often have a color of the day or a unit color. It's a signal to anyone else around that you are with that mission or unit, end quote. Another person wrote, quote, my husband was and led part of the QRF, Quick Reaction Force team, when they were deployed in Iraq. We are retired now. The maroon color in the military means the color is famously associated with military forces, such as the Maroon Beret of airborne troops around the world. And another person explained to me that especially in coordinated violent scenes, making sure that people are in certain colors or in something that is identifiable is important so that military men can observe who to protect or who they're looking for, right? And so that just makes sense, okay? And so LOL for all of you guys that were saying I'm stupid. I love being called stupid. Every time you call me stupid, it's another little clue that I should follow that. Just, you guys are so obvious, okay? It's the overreaction to simple things. And I feel in my gut that it was not some random coincidence that so many of these fellas decided to wear maroon on September 10th and attend the Charlie Kirk event. And I feel even more compelled because there was this person on TikTok, you may have seen it at the time, who was claiming that he had some videos that someone in his family had shot. And when he submitted them to the FBI had asked him to delete that footage.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's false. But I do know that when I got in touch with this individual and he sent me the footage, my eye immediately gravitated towards another person who happened to be wearing maroon, who is also alone at the event, who I thought it was kind of strange, did not duck when everybody else ducked after the shot went off. I think I had shown you that. I'm going to show it to you again. I know I identified him as a young man named Jacob Kasparian, and I'm going to show you that video of him not ducking after the shot goes off. Take a look at this.
Counting or not counting gang violence? Great.
And we're going to circle it so you can see it. Okay, that's him. You're going to see everybody duck. And it's going to come back up. And he's still not going to be ducked. He just kind of hits his phone and walks away. Now, regarding Jacob Kasparian, I want to be very clear. I do not think he shot Charlie Kirk, because it's really fashionable for people to say that we are accusing everyone of shooting Charlie Kirk. No, I am observing some things that strike me as unusual. And it's unusual that he attended the event alone. It is unusual to me that after researching him, he had posted himself earlier that day at either 8:42 a.m. or 7:42 a.m. I'm unclear on whether or not Facebook is editing the time zones according to what I'm in, the time zone I'm in, or when it was shot. But he's wearing an entirely different shirt earlier that day. It's a dyed blue shirt. And then when he arrives to UVU campus, he kind of hits certain points. He's up high, and then he's at the lower rung. 2 minutes before Charlie gets shot, he's not where he is. And then the next thing you know, he's there. And the reason why he's not moving is because he's recording and he doesn't duck. And I just found that to be a bit interesting. I can show you, by the way, this is a very grainy image of him recording. We're kind of circling it there. It's okay if you can't see it. We've hyperimposed, but I just found it odd thereafter that nobody, despite him being there, witnessing it and having recorded, by the way, Charlie getting shot, none of his family members posted anything about Charlie's assassination. He is active. He did not post about Charlie's assassination. It happened in their backyard. It was a global event. No comment whatsoever that I could find. And I started to wonder, based on where I found these individuals in the audience, I started to suspect, and this is my broader suspicion and theory, which in any investigation you're allowed to do. It might turn out to be wrong, but I am beginning to suspect that our Maroon Boys in general were tasked with taking footage from predetermined angles. Again, it's a suspicion. I'd like to explore it. And the easiest way for me to explore things and rule things out is to open things up to the public. I would like to see if anybody recognizes and can identify these other Maroon Boys, because maybe I can determine what their extracurricular activities are. Are they all in the ROTC? As an example, I'm going off of internet vibes. They could be a part of an airborne force, okay? And it was even more compelling because there was this guy who live streamed the whole event. We all know who I'm speaking about. His name is Adam Bartholomew. I have never ever said anything about Adam Bartholomew. I have reviewed his footage, but people online were clocking him as suspicious. They're like, this guy just always happened to be in the right place at the right time. And he has been randomly attacking me. Again, I've never said anything about him. And one of the ways that he instantly attacked was when I mentioned the maroon thing. And he said, my son was wearing maroon on that day. And his son was. That's the person that we showed you. That's Adam, and that's his son. Yeah, that only makes it more compelling because you were capturing footage on that day. So I'd like to know more. And I also find it strange, I will say about Adam Bartholomew, that when the shot rings out, he's live streaming, okay? And he does not stop live streaming to run down and ensure that his wife, who was in the audience, okay, was okay. He did not. When I learned by accident that his wife was there, his wife Carrie was there, and she was standing by the bush, actually almost directly near Jordan Kasparian, I would have expected him to be like, oh my gosh, after he says, what is that? Is my wife okay? Oh my God, where is she? Where's Carrie? Nope. She tweeted that photo of herself, and she confirmed in her own X feed that she was, I am more than I ever been, is what her tweet says. When we thought laying in the courtyard that we were about to get shot in the back or in the head, it was very clear that we were on the right side. She confirms by picture and by tweet where she was when that shot went off, and yet he mysteriously was not panicked to go find his wife. Odd, weird,
Yeah.
and I have a suspicion about the Maroon Boys. I think all of our footage has come from Maroon Boys, and a lot of that footage was then algorithmically boosted. And so I would like to again show you the pictures of these men. And by the way, guys, there's going to be someone that just gets caught in here who just happened to wear a maroon shirt that day.
Yeah.
I am sure. If that is you, please just write to me and let me know. Like, no, Candace, I go to UVU, and this is just a shirt I put on. They do look military to me. I will say that. And like these three, it's something that I've noticed. And then obviously we know Tyler Robinson notoriously was wearing a maroon shirt. Could be Boy Scouts, could be ROTC, could be Eagle Scouts, could very much be Airborne. So if you guys know anything, please email us. Again, if you recognize these people, I don't want your broader thoughts on the color maroon, but if you recognize these individuals in particular, more tips at CandaceOwens.com. Okay, and then I'm going to tell you somebody that I actually do think is suspicious on that day, and I need to know everything about him. But first, let's get to some sponsors. All right, you guys, when they double down on abortion,
Okay. So, sorry I was late. I did not, usually she's off on Fridays and I didn't get the notification. I was in a conversation. And then all of a sudden got the notification late, but thanks for being here. Okay. So Nick Fuentes was posting on X too, if you guys are on X, but he was posting that, I mean, he was ridiculing Candace for not showing up for the live stream. A lot of people are on X commenting saying, hey, you said anytime, any place, they give you a time, they give you a place, you should show up no matter what. What do you guys think? I completely understand. And I think they did it on purpose just to press her and to be obnoxious, because if all of his friends are going to be there, how did they pull that all together with everybody's schedule and they didn't know about it in advance? And they intentionally waited and held that information and gave her the ultimatum of you have to tell us within 24 hours at midnight that they sent that. And they know she homeschools her kids during the day too. So anyways, I think that was intentional. Gosh, I didn't want her to go because I was, fearful and of danger for her. But, anyways, but now I'm like, oh my gosh, should she go? Well, if Erika's going to be there, like, do you think Erika's going to be there? And Nick Fuentes, he was on her show. I haven't seen that episode when he was on there, but anyways, a lot of people are going crazy on X over this. And then Megyn Kelly also had Kash Patel on and asked him the questions. Oh, she's back here.
I wanted to introduce you guys, by the way, to somebody that I do think is extremely shady. Okay, extremely suspicious to me, and I can give you a variety of reasons, but I'd rather just ask for your help in. Let me give you something explicit. I would like to see footage of him, period, point blank, who he was with, in the crowd. I'm starting to like identify every person there. That's where I'm at. Like I'm micromanaging. Like I'm doing my best Karen over here. I would like to even find him on the day of Charlie Kirk's assassination in the crowd. Okay, his name is Emmanuel Beerer, and there are 1,000,001 reasons why I wanted to know more about him. Look, he's a former employee of Oracle. He's in engineering. I believe he's from Germany, from what I looked into. He's a software engineer, and he attended the event, but somehow I don't see any photos of him at the event, and he was plucked from obscurity by the mainstream media as an eyewitness in Salt Lake City. Like they went to film him in Salt Lake City. I just would like to know how these media requests came about. Like, did he tweet something and you knew he was there? Like, actually, if you are PBS, which I'm about to show you a clip of him speaking on PBS, how did you know to reach out to this man? That's the first question I'd like to have answered, right? Because I'm thinking, if I'm sending people down, I'm not sending them to Salt Lake City, right? I'm going to send people a news truck down to UVU campus. I'm going to go around and try to speak to people on campus organically, people that are students and attended this event. Without a connection, which ended up being the Tiffany Barker situation where she said, oh, I was friends with, Jeff Lehman, and that's the reason that I was able to get the news hit in the morning. How did Emmanuel Beerer get picked out in Salt Lake City? Okay. I am going to let you listen to him speak and what he testified to on that day. Take a listen.
I hear this loud sound and I'm like, that wasn't what I thought it was, is it? I was like, no, this can't be happening right now. And we all ducked.
Okay, so yeah, they had him on basically every news channel. I think there is a longer clip and I might be able to find it, but I would like to find him. So if you attended the UVU event and you went with Emmanuel, maybe you are Emmanuel and you are watching this and you would like to clarify who you were with and send some photos and some pictures and also explain to me how you became an eyewitness that all the mainstream media wanted to speak to, I would deeply appreciate that because I find that to be suspicious. I just do. Anyways, you guys, in other news, The Game dropped his album, his mixtape with the song The Assassination of Candace Owens on it because Game gonna recognize Game. And I'm gonna play for you guys and probably get hit for it a couple of, we'll play like 10 seconds of the song and then I'll just kind of go over these lyrics from the second verse, which I think are actually really powerful. Take a listen.
Let that woman speak her truth and I will love her like my mama, love her like Kamala, love her like Obama. Truth is, truth hurts. It's like a neck shot. Who really killed Charlie Kirk?
Here we go. Okay, I'm going to read this to you guys. So he says, let that woman speak her truth, and I will love her like my mama, love her like Kamala, love her like Obama. Truth is, truth hurts. It's like a neck shot. Who really killed Charlie Kirk? Okay, that is the truth. The truth does hurt, and people want to know who killed Charlie Kirk. This next line is just absolutely, I think, destructive to Turning Point USA as an organization. He goes on and he writes, his body is not yet settled in the dirt. Why are you carrying on like that? Are you an Andre 3000 verse? Okay, so that's a reference to Outkast, and they are known for making their verses really long. They're very lyrical and poetic. And so that's the vibe coming at Turning Point USA from the hip hop community. How are you guys just going on like an Andre 3000 verse? Who killed Charlie Kirk? That to me is the ultimate referendum on what Turning Point USA is doing. It literally, even a blind man can see what we are all seeing, and yet you're trying to gaslight us into pretending like it's just all regular and that we are the bad guys. He goes on and he says, we live in an era where I can't say the N-words, twerk, and we live in an era where they pull wallets up out they purse. But I was raised in Zion and Nas I am. And if I'm lying low, throw me in a den with the lions and 5 YNs. I think that's a gang. I'm sorry, I'm not up to date on gang stuff. Either way, behind these bars is shots flying. Decapitate you so-called goats without trying. Go head to head with CNN while bumping CNN. Leave in France, I'm still alive. Some I won't see again. Speak my truth until I'm in the position that she is in. Moral to the story, be cautious who you believe in. I love this. It's so great. I love that he incorporated France into this. And what he's saying, obviously, is like you have to fight these so-called goats. And honestly, they are like Baphomet worshippers. Okay, the goat thing is, I get what he's doing here. He is being punny in all the right ways. And you somehow, by speaking the truth, you become a threat and they want to kill you. Like they want to assassinate you. And they're laughing. They send out these nerds to laugh at you when you say that. And you don't know if you're like, people are like, lay low. Like you shouldn't even go to Turning Point USA. What am I doing? I'm just telling the truth.
Yeah.
And he's saying all of this to say, we're all going, like we all should be putting ourselves in this position to speak the truth. And the moral of the story is that we should be very cautious in who we believe in. And I think that that is how we all are feeling right now. Like we are suddenly recognizing that this authority is arbitrary, kind of the most grotesque, perverse humans that you could possibly imagine. I don't even think they're humans, to be honest, they're subhuman. Happen to be running the world. For whatever reason, our governments think that it is a dramatic ask. Like we're almost saying it's okay. We'll be employees and debt slaves for the rest of our lives. We'll get back to work and we'll pay absurd taxes every day. Can you guys please just leave kids alone? And our government's like, can't do that. Sorry. Could you please just not poison us? Government's like, sorry, we can't do that. You guys are asking for way too much. You're listening to too much Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens. It's too much. You guys, how could you think that we don't have a right to poison you and to poison the minds of your children? It is, like I said, I think such a good commentary on the state of things today. I hope I didn't say gun stuff. I'm not in any gangs, but I'm a gangsta. Yeah, I'm a gangsta. I think so. So anyways, if you guys would like to toss him some support and just to appreciate that we're at a moment where hopefully when he says like I was raised listening to Nas, what he means is like real hip hop, right? And people that were actually commenting on the state of things in an intellectual way. It's actually why I loved Jay-Z's music when I was growing up, and I kind of hated what he became. I think it is also reflective for Black America because so much we have been kind of transformed into the ultimate slaves of Baphomet, like this idea of freedom where I think we're all realizing right now we're not free. Like we
Yeah.
are all slaves, and they give us products and iPhones and flat screen TVs and Hollywood and the Kardashians. And we're supposed to think that that's glamour and it's glitz. And that means that we're in a golden era. Nope, nope, nope. I think that there was not an enlightenment, but there was a darkening of mankind, and America is going to have to wake up real quick. So thank you for putting Charlie Kirk, memorializing him in that song to the game. Hopefully, next time you do it, I can be on the verse, just like maybe just one little expression from this podcast. Everything is fake and gay. All right, we'll take a brief break, and we will come back after the comments. All right, you guys, what if you could delay?
Okay. So I spent a lot of the day catching up on what was happening on social media because I knew there would be a ton of buzz. I was looking out for another tweet from Blake Neff and all of that, but there was a lot going on. Okay, so Patel was on Megyn Kelly, and she flat out asked him if there was a credible threat to Candace's life. Now, he didn't answer as you would expect. He danced around it. He said, if there's a threat to any American's life from overseas, the FBI is going to look into it. We're not going to turn away from any of it. And then she asked again, and she said, so, do you believe there's a threat? And again, he said, the FBI is looking into all of the things, and we're going to investigate, anytime there's a threat. So he didn't answer. He refused to answer. And so, of course, I'm messaging back and forth. I'm messaging on X. I'm tweeting back and hitting back. And actually, I asked a lot of good things about Erika because I want her to, she should be speaking, actually. And I think her time's up. I think they hired her, put her into the CEO position because they wanted to hide behind the widow. Well, I shouldn't. She's a widow. Okay, I shouldn't have put that in quotes. They wanted to be able to hide behind the grieving widow. Anyway, so I think time's up on that. And it's time to start saying Erika Kirk's name and asking those pointed questions directly to her. She's putting herself out there. She's in commercials, promoting TPUSA, politics, all of that. She's up for it. Meanwhile, she's saying stay at home and have babies and don't have a career, women, while she's out there running around the country. So I'm not super happy with that at all. Yeah, Trump is connected to them tightly. Here, she's back. Let's listen.
Corner, you got to get your girl and make him a sandwich. Book, wrap it up, put it under the Christmas tree. If she opens it and she's excited, she's a keeper. If she opens it and she's disappointed and she feels offended, I just don't know. You guys can get the book on Amazon now. If that's more convenient for you, if you want to get 20% off, you should head to makehimasandwich.com, and you can buy it directly from us with no middlemen. And we are also now shipping to Candace at makehimasandwich.com. Signed copies available only at CandaceOwens.com. Oh, I said Candace. We're not shipping to Candace. We're shipping to Canada. Thank you, Skylar. That's a good idea.
We knew what you meant.
They bought books and we shipped them to me. That feels like a scam. We also have new merch available on the website if you'd like to buy our Hate It or Love It, the underdogs on top. I love that. I'm actually going to get the game to sign it for me, obviously.
That'd be cool.
I just thought that was great. Now that I'm a rapper. Yeah, I think I'm a rapper. I'm definitely a gangster. Anyways, you guys, also on the website, you can now gift someone a membership to Club Candace or to the book club on our website. Just head to the About section. You'll scroll down and you will see the Want to Gift a Membership tab. Enjoy. I think that's great. I think that's very fun, especially for the book club. We really get into it. We get into a lot of trouble, but it's fun and it's way more laid back because I'm not worried about getting struck on YouTube. All right, let's get into some of your comments for today. Laughing Cats writes, that's, by the way, a very big donation. Thank you. Holla at our girl Candace, supporting her, y'all. I think we need to remind the world that a news station at the CK Memorial talked to attendees for 3 hours, and none of them believed the FBI narrative. TPUSA can blame you all they want, but you are not changing minds. You are speaking to ours. That is so well said. Thank you for writing that, because I feel like I'm becoming a punching bag. All I'm doing is I'm voicing how everyone feels. Like I said, did I collaborate with the game to do the song? Everyone knows that what is being told to us is completely ridiculous. Let me also tell you guys something else that I forgot to mention. So remember, there's only 2 videos of the quote unquote shooter on the roof. One, which was shot from the side, where you see somebody crouched down holding a gun. Well, I had a follow-up call with the person who shot that video, and I asked him, I was like, can you confirm that you actually saw him take the shot? Because literally he's recording him at 12:23, right? He said, no, I didn't see him take the shot. I never saw any recoil. This guy has experience in guns. He teaches people to shoot guns. And he said, and I did not say that was, remember, he told us early on, that's not the person that I saw. I saw somebody in tactical gear. And I have seen so much about people saying, yeah, this is the video. I've seen so many people debating whether or not he put the gun back together. He's like, I can say that none of that happened. So I asked him, did Tyler Robinson's defense lawyer reach out to you? No. Have the feds reached out to you since I called you? No. There's only 2 people that have cameras of this person on the roof, and you are telling me that he hasn't been like automatically subpoenaed into the court case? Again, every layer of this is BS, and we know it. And you can't just, spit in our faces and tell us that it's raining. And that's what it feels like they're trying to do. Curbster writes, so the best spokesman at TPUSA, the best spokesman, that TPUSA has to present a BS invitation to CO is a guy who was fired by Tucker Carlson for racist remarks. No wonder TPUSA is failing. No one is buying it. None of them deserved to breathe the same air as Charlie, much less call him their friend. I actually, a few of you have commented about, I actually didn't know that Blake Neff used to work for Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson was on Fox News. I'm going to ask Tucker Carlson about Blake Neff, because I'm not feeling his vibes. Remember I said before, I believed him. Now I'm just like, no, now he's just doing too much. Nope. He's lying. He's a liar that lies. Okay. After extending an invitation and saying, we sincerely invite Candace to join us on the live stream, he then tweets. I don't know if we have the tweet where he just like says, no, it was never meant to be. Like, we know that that's not an invitation. Do you have that tweet? I don't know if I send that to you, Skylar. We can pull it up later. But now they're pretending like they were never sincere. Oh yeah, here it is. Of course, it's not how you book a guest. We are not booking a guest and never said that we were. We are delivering a response to several months of escalating harassment and lies. She was given the opportunity to join and declined. That's just a lie. Like, you're just like, how can we accept
that's a lie.
Anything you guys say in this live stream is going to be true when you are lying to us right now? I never declined an offer to join your live stream, okay? You never insinuated that it had to be in person, and you made it seem like it was a live stream, which meant that as long as we could get there, of course, any place you can live stream, literally any place, anytime. That's what tech allows for. And now you're pretending like the terms were very clear and that it was going to be 24 hours. And I had to, like, it's like everyone can see through it. So we are now adding you to the pile of TPUSA BS officers, okay? I'm going to figure out what happened with Tucker. Tucker will tell me the truth. So you watch out. Tucker will tell me the truth. I text my friend Tucker, my only friend Tucker, according to Adam Sosnick. Tucker's my only
Adam
friend.
says she has no friends.
Corey Henry writes, Candace, you don't think that they would hesitate to take a whole plane down to get to you? They would, and they don't care. I love you and I'm praying for you. Christ is king. Look, I do think it would be one of the dumbest moves ever if they coordinated my assassination at Turning Point USA headquarters. I mean, that would just be, yeah, I would like to think the feds are smarter than that, but it is being run by Kash Patel, and he thinks his girlfriend's music is sensational. So maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. Top Class T writes, make things right with Black people so that we can throw our support behind you. Quote, no permanent allies or enemies, only permanent interests. Cut the check. I don't know what cut the check means, but I don't know how to make things right with Black people. I don't know what that means, because I feel like I've always been right with Black people because I'm Black. I feel like I've always been cool with everything I said. I just tell the truth. I don't really care how people feel. And so I feel like during BLM, Black people were really mad at me because I was telling the truth, but then the truth ended up being the truth. And BLM was a scam and they were buying themselves houses. So maybe Black people should make up with me. That's what I want. I want people who supported BLM to make up with me, and I will accept your apology. Tim Morgan writes, the truth is its own self-evident and unassailable defense. We love you, Candace. Thank you, Tim. Crown Heights Brainiac writes, Candace, please go live when they have their live stream and do a live reaction.
I love that she
Team
said that.
Petty. I saw that request, and we can confirm that we are going to live stream their live stream and live respond to the live stream that is not actually a live stream that's interested in getting to the truth. I also love that they're now trying to cage it. Like they were doing this live stream to respond irrespective of me, when their entire introduction to this live stream was him speaking for 10 minutes and assassinating my character. And now it's like, oh, this isn't about Candace. We're going to do this irrespective. And again, I don't love the fact that he heavily implies that Erika sanctioned that. He obviously didn't write it himself. And she's a CEO, and it would follow that a CEO would read that. Why allow for those lies in there and misrepresentations? I don't get that. And I do hope she
she's part
attends,
of it.
because these would be my questions. Also, Erika, if you're watching, can I submit to you a list of 5 questions?
Oh,
Since
good.
it has to be in person and whatever, because of
She's
like
addressing Erika
intuitive
directly.
stuff or something. If that is the requirement, can I submit like Candace's top 5 questions? Can we do that? Or is that too hard? It has to be in person or something. Again, we're trying to bend over backwards here to make this work somehow. And we are very open to it. And we have never once declined this. We told you the truth, which was that it's virtually impossible. It's not actually the opposite. It is very virtually possible for me to appear on December 15th. And I don't see a reason why not to allow that. Dubious Maximus writes, I knew it. They wouldn't do a Zoom live, but in person only. The debate is rigged against you. And if you don't go in person, they will say the matter is closed. They answer all questions and won't accept further inquiries. You are correct, at least, that the new format of TPUSA campus events is that students have to tell them ahead of time what they're going to ask. We have received a flurry of emails to that effect. And I do sense this is going to be fake and gay. I'm going to hope for the best, but it's already feeling pretty fake and gay.
It's
It
pretty
hasn't even
fake and
started.
gay.
So Candy Renee writes, go Max. Anna Rosas writes, Barry Weiss is interviewing Erika Kirk on December 13th.
Yes.
All is lining up with this December 15th show. Barry is going to pressure Erika into disavowing your claims. That way you have to stop investigating into CK's assassination. There's always a reason for everything. I saw some news about Barry sitting down with her. I thought that it was actually that she's going somewhere where New York Times is hosting or CBS is hosting. I don't know what it is. I like to wait and still stuff until things actually happen. Don't need to surmise about what the future is going to be, but I'm assuming she's going to be at the December 15th event based on what Blake Neff has said. I'd like to know if I'm right about that. And yeah, I don't run my household. My husband, when I said December 15th, rushed right to him when I saw the text confirmation or the tweet confirmation. And he said December 15th absolutely does not work. I cannot make December 15th work. So Allison Berry writes, Iron Lady of America going Max for Charlie. Thank you, Allison. And lastly, Sarah writes, praying for you every day. I am so sad to see what has happened to TPUSA. It makes me sick. I loved Charlie and his work. I felt hope. I don't think Charlie would be okay with this. I also feel sad for Erika, and I feel sad for his kids. I do feel sad that it is seemingly all burning to the ground very quickly, and that they do not have enough forthright character to assess what they are doing that is causing this. You know, it's like they think it's like the world against them, and the world could not have been more behind them when Charlie was assassinated. So if you have lost favor with the world, I'm talking about the organization, by the way, not obviously his kids and Erika. Well, I guess Erika is now the CEO, but if the organization has lost favor with the world so quickly, and your excuse is, well, this is Candace's fault, and you send Blake Neff out to lie, it's because you're deluding yourselves. And this organization, in my view, has become completely delusional. So there's that. I'm not going to mince words, least of all because I want an organization that isn't staying true to their own principles of free speech and inquiry to do well. The ghost of Charlie Kirk, that's not an appetizing enough of an offer to make me stand behind an organization that no longer seems to be engaged in telling the truth. So anyways, you guys, we will see you on Monday.
All right. What a treat that she was here today. How's that? And a surprise. I was unprepared, you guys. So, but I'm glad that you could come again today too. So, if Erika is in charge, why isn't she on their live stream? Is she ever on them? So she was only on in the beginning, right after to do what she did. Anyway, yeah, she's busy running around the country telling people to have more babies and women to stay at home and not to have careers, because that's, just basically what her and Charlie believed in. You know what's also really getting me is that on TPUSA, the pastors, from TP, who are in tight with TPUSA, all the people that post and are on the Charlie Kirk show they haven't been able to make it through a show without invoking Charlie Kirk's name. Literally, I'm going to go through and count how many times they say, because Charlie wanted this, Charlie says this, Charlie supported this. It's like every other sentence has Charlie Kirk's name in it. And Erika's doing the same thing. And I was the same way. I was trying to be real sensitive about Erika Kirk, the grooming widow. And now I feel like I'm done. I'm done with that. So I did spend a good amount of time looking at X and looking what everybody was saying and trying to see their but anyway, get me on a rant, because this really gets me so fired up. What else was there that I wanted to tell you guys about? Okay, so Nick Fuentes, I'm not a fan of Nick Fuentes, but he was on this show and he was asked the Jack Neal show. So JACKNEEL. It's a podcast. It's on YouTube. I don't know what other platforms. Today was the first time I heard about Jack Neal. Nick Fuentes was on there. Jack asks him about Erika Kirk. And he goes into this whole thing. She answers about Erika Kirk. He doesn't believe the conspiracy and all of that. But anyway, what he does talk about is Erika Kirk and her being like the widow, and like nobody wanted to like talk to her about stuff, but she's the CEO. She's not the widow. She's the CEO. So we need to treat her like we would any other CEO. So he also gets into how the GOP used Charlie, and then Charlie worked with the GOP very closely, obviously, to get Vance into office. And it's really good. I'm going to pop it up here. I won't play it. Really, let me see if I can paste and go. So let me see if I'll pop myself off the main screen here. So it's the most canceled man in America. It looks like it was from 10 days ago, but he asks about Erika Kirk, and then he talks about each of the steps and each of the tactics that were used in order to get JD Vance. And obviously we all probably already figured out that they want to put JD Vance in. They want Trump out probably by now. I think that's what the Epstein leaks, the little bit of leaks that had Trump information in there that came to nothing. I feel like that had a bit to do with turning the tides kind of away from Trump, and they're really positioning JD Vance in for a ticket next election. Anyways, he has chapters on here that you could go to, and you can skip to the chapter. You don't want to hear everything Nick Fuentes says, but you can skip to the chapter about Erika Kirk, and a little before that, he starts talking about, he's talking about Charlie Kirk. But anyways, it's really interesting. I liked that piece of it. That's the only part of it that I watched, but it's that one. Let me take this out of here. I don't know what kind of copyright strike they'd give me if I played any of that, so I don't want to chance it there playing it. But anyways, have you guys been paying attention to social media? Do you have any other thoughts since yesterday? Once Trump goes the left will throw her in jail. You think so? You think they'll throw Erika in jail? And you think she's going to take the fall? I don't know. Like, I'm wondering, did Erika have was this a plan of hers? And, about the arranged marriage. I had made a post about that near the beginning of her being a honeypot, of it being an arranged marriage, and that she was there to keep an eye on Charlie and to handle Charlie this whole way through. Now, okay, I don't want to, this is just like a thought of mine of, she knew Charlie was getting out of line too. Maybe didn't necessarily want him gone if they didn't have to, but if they had to, it's part of what she signed up for. I don't think Erika, I think they're going to use the heck out of Erika, and I think Erika wants to be used, to tell you the truth. I didn't see the house that Charlie and Erika have. Is it massive? Well, Candace did say that Charlie got too much into the money. That became too important to him, and she thinks that's where he screwed up. And part of how things went off the rails. And I'm wondering if that's not true. Let's see. Let me see if I can read your comments here. He doesn't believe that. So Fuentes doesn't believe the conspiracy because they tried to blame everything on him. He had to play the cards right. Yeah. And did you also? Okay, so going through this, he talked about Fuentes and like he's banned from TikTok. You can't put his name on TikTok. It will not let it play. You can't put his face. AI scans and knows his face, and they won't allow any post about him with his name. I guess people spell it a certain way so that they can get away with it, and sometimes they can take side views of his face and get something published on TikTok. But they're looking to buy. So they already bought TikTok. That's already in the works, and I can already see the results of that already. But they're working to buy Instagram as well. Yeah, Charlie was touring all the time, and that makes me wonder if so Nick Fuentes had talked about like it being an arranged marriage, and if they were really as happy. Okay, so and that leads me to this. So I was thinking about that today, and I was looking at all the times. Remember, I don't know if you guys saw when she went on TPUSA and she was sitting there talking to Andrew Colvett, right? And when she looks and talks about Vice President Vance, that she always has these like adoring eyes. She's had it when she was looking at Andrew, where people were like, are her and Andrew having a thing? And then the same thing with JD Vance, how she looks at him. And I'm like, and remembering back to the videos where you see her going on with Charlie Kirk for the first time when they're talking about, he's asked her to marry him and all that. Same googly eyes. Same eyes every time. So it just makes it to me seem inauthentic and like this is just her playing to the cameras and playing to the crowd that adores her and thinks that she's something else. I think she's something else, but not in a great way. She's a fraud. She's a fraud and a liar. I used to support her for years at Blexit and fooled me once. She won't twice. She is unhinged, Judas. See, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking she married Charlie. She had a certain thing that she wanted to have accomplished. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, time tells all, and I'm just hoping it doesn't take us years in this case. So anyway, so Patel was on Megyn Kelly. He didn't answer the question. So he said the FBI would look into any threat against any American, overseas or otherwise, and he never answered if there was a credible threat and if they believed it and if it was true. So I had responded to that. I said, he didn't answer the question. And then, of course, people came at me and said, he answered the question, "Are you stupid?" And I'm like, okay, did I miss something? Like, I don't want to be stupid. Of course, I want to double check myself. I want to know what I'm thinking, saying, hearing, seeing is accurate. So I go back and I even had AI like give me the text for the video. He didn't answer the question, and Megan didn't push him again. Like, Megan's tough, and when she wants to, she will push somebody for an answer, and she will say, "You're not answering the question," and she let him off. She asked him twice, and then she just let him off. So I was trying to study his body language because she asked the series of questions, and she also asked if TPUSA was involved, and he had an interesting body language at that point that was different from the rest of the video. Y'all should go look and see what you think. But I'm like, huh. Anyways, it was interesting because I was really careful to watch the whole thing and really pay attention to that body language. But when he asked that question, of course, he said no, he doesn't think they were involved at all. But I mean, what else is he going to say? They're going to lie. They're going to lie to the very end. That's what they do. Don't worry, it doesn't. Good. Thank you. We are just all a bunch of stupid, crazy conspiracy theorists, you know. We're followers, we're sheep. Yeah, it's not everybody else, it's us, right? Okay, let's see. I missed some things when I got off on my rant. Women love power. Yeah, we do. I mean, I think most people do, right? And Nick Fuentes was talking about that too, is power. Power isn't inherently evil, but it sure is intoxicating and people sure get lost in it. Spooky eyes, they freak me out. Is that Erica's or mine? I can't. Are my eyes spooky or is that Erika you're talking about? Oh, okay. I'm not sure. Why didn't Megan push him? I don't know, but Megan's super careful. She's a part of the GOP. She has, been brave enough to speak out against Israel and not be in support of that. But there's only so far she'll push. She will not directly, she doesn't directly say anything about the Republicans because, it's the institution, it's the organization, and it's more important, and you protect it at all costs. It all just needs to come down. It all needs to come down. Yeah, Megan's tough and smart, and she didn't push. It was crazy. I don't trust Megyn Kelly, to be honest. There are some things that I've been appreciative that she's covered, some things that she said that make me think, oh, maybe I'm wrong about Megan, but I always come back to, okay, I don't think I'm wrong about Megan. I don't trust her. Cash Patel, he's amped up on cocaine. Rubio's special dust. Rubio's a piece of work. Ugh, they're all just so disgusting. Let's see. Lauren says, J6 Piper Brian Cole told the FBI that he was tricked into believing the 2020 election was stolen, just like the J6 rioters. He also told them he supported Donald Trump. He isn't a Democrat. Eek. Yeah, they're trying. Well, a crazy thought occurred to me today. I mean, I just try to look at it at all angles. And I was like, what if is it possible that all the Democrats are wanting to try to frame, I don't know, the Republicans are trying to frame the Democrats. It's just so disgusting. How do we take an active role? How do we tear it down and get out of this? This is another thing Fuentes said. I'm not a fan. He doesn't believe women should vote. Like, what? Anyway, but he was saying that it's too democratic, that it was never intended for it to be that democratic. Okay, so Lauren said, we had this ridiculous little fantasy for 5 years that the J6 Piper was going to be a Democrat. Yep. And that was somehow going to make January 6th seem less embarrassing and shameful. Now what? Yeah. Erica's eyes, thanks. Hers are spooky. They were less spooky when she talked to that New York Times. It was the same reporter who did her first interview. It was him, and she didn't have as much makeup on. She looked a little less scary and Like evangelical pastor's wife. Scary. Why isn't anyone talking about Charlie Kirk's parents filing for custody of his kids and the nanny calling children's services? No. No. Is that true? Where did you hear that? Well, I did ask her because she's so gung ho on women not having careers and staying at home and not pursuing that. I did ask her why she's not at home and why she's pursuing a political career and a corporate career. Oh, anyways, I'm hated at in some of those comments, but really for the most part, the support for Candace, you go in the TPUSA comments and it's overwhelmingly not in support of them. Let's see. A grand jury declined to indict Letitia James yesterday. Trump's revenge and retribution expeditions are not going very well. From Lauren. Yeah, what's the source of that rumor about Erika? Lauren says this is now a nation where millions of Americans hoot and holler when the U.S. president uses the R slur, and conservatives absolutely love it. Why do people think Trump supporters are so low class? Yeah. And they believe, and Christians believe he's Christian, even though he said, I'm not Christian. And even though he has no clue what a Christian is, because he held a Bible. Gads is what I said. Jeff says the political party system needs to come down. And frustrated for the past 8 years as I've been waking up to this BS. It's BS. Yeah. So let's see. People are going to have to start blasting. Neither do I. A simple Google search. So what? Did you look it up? Erika Kirk, CPS. Okay, so I'll share my screen. I'm going to put this on. I'll see. Let's look at this. Okay. Well, this is on Facebook 3 days ago. Nanny's chilling CPS call. I'll put this. Let me make this bigger. Exposes Erika Kirk's fractured family legacy. Neglect claims rock widow of slain activists. Pinterest. Erika Kirk for child neglect. Statecraft. Should we look at it? Charlie Kirk's parents. Let's see. The American right wing talking about the J6 Piper for the next week has been canceled due to the culprit being a Trump supporter who believed. Oops. Yeah. I wonder if they'll change the live stream at TPUSA for the 15th because Candace is going to live stream their live stream. Love it. Love it. Okay. Charlie Kirk's parents, Robert and Catherine Kirk, have reportedly filed for joint custody of his 2 children following his death. Wait. No. Okay. Oh, that's what AI told you. Wasn't able to find credible reports confirming that Charlie Kirk's parents have filed custody for his children. The claim does not appear to be a reliable news outlet for court records at this time. But yeah, that also doesn't mean anything because, they could be like they do. They scrub it. It seems like people would be talking about this more. Oh, yeah, it doesn't. So AI is not super reliable. I've argued with the chat AI before when I caught It didn't lie twice, and it apologized. Yeah. I mean, who thinks pickle for I want to speak American? Okay, let's look at this. Let me see. Hold on. I just want to it's 10 minutes. We won't do the whole thing. Let me see. Oh gosh darn it. It opens up a new window. Can I open it in the same window? Hold on. Let's go here. Okay. Turn on the volume.
But all these are for you, baby. These are from Daddy's friends. I'll read it to you. But just know that nothing is by mistake. Nothing.
Nothing's a coincidence.
I will never forget the time I was in Israel with my husband. That was the second time, but the first time with my mother on a pilgrimage.
I believe that we all have angels in our lives, and these are my little angels from Antonio Placement Center in Constantia, Romania.
We're taking away from them without proper documentation, proper paper.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I'm hesitant. I don't think. Anyway. I'm sure. Well, you know, it's funny because sometimes there come the whispers and the rumors before we actually get stuff, but I would be super surprised because they would have that on lockdown, even if it were true. They have two different stories about how they met. Yeah, and two, like I saw that also, and how she said he fell in love immediately and she had to pray for peace about it. So I'm like, if you had to pray for peace about it, that means you didn't have peace. But I just think this is just a load. All of it. All of it. That's saying something from, let's see. Yeah. Anyway, what else was I saying? I wanted to say something else about what I had seen online today. Anyways, it's crazy. All the fights and all that, but the majority of people on social media are not liking TPUSA, but they don't care. Like everything they're doing is for their donor base, the donor class. They don't need us, but they do. They'll find out they do. Let's see. She didn't want to admit she met me off the internet. Me and my ex. Yeah, that's funny. Anyways, okay, guys, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for being here. Make sure you like this stream because that'll help YouTube think that people want to like it and want to come join. So I guess we're going to be off for the weekend and back on Monday. I'll be prepared. I wasn't prepared for a Friday. I'm in my maroon sweatshirt, hair up. This is mom day, like not third day of on my hair and dry shampoo. So anyways, that's me. Peace, chat. Peace, Teresa. Bye, guys. Thank you so much. Have a good weekend.